Thanks for taking us for another spin. This is Polymuse Season 2 with Michael and the Cuz.
My name's Ben.
And we are covering System of a Down. This is the self-titled album we're currently on right now. Today we'll be covering tracks 8 and 9, War, question mark, and Mind.
Period.
We will continue grading our tracks A through F with an S at the top. That will make our final mixtape, our Desert Island mixtape of 14 tracks that we are keeping a tally of, and that goes through the entire System of a Down discography. So here we go. War? Yes? No? Question mark?
Yes. Click.
Per album booklet, Surge states, "We first fought the heathens in the name of religion, then communism, and now in the name of drugs and terrorism. Our excuses for global domination always change."
Or do they? The heathen is just whoever they don't like, whoever they need to get rid of. It changes who they decide to target and who they decide to victimize, but it's really the same situation where the heathen is just whoever they can victimize, war is bad.
Yeah, well, this song very much questions, what kind of battle are we fighting and why, wrapping the reason we're going to war in the directive, why are we actually going to war, between political alliances and hidden political agendas, very much as he said, drugs and terrorism, and it's questioning why. That's very much why there's a question mark at the end of the song.
And they just straight up say, history teaches us that when you need a reason to kill a man, they approve it by God, approve it by however they need to justify it. They justify it, and once you can convince yourself or convince someone that someone else is less than human, someone else is a heathen, someone else is not to be respected as a human being, that's how genocides take place. That's how the atrocities that System of a Down is so politically active against and concerned with, atrocities that happen around the world. It's because a group of people has been dehumanized to the point where another group of people is able to wage war or commit atrocities without feeling the remorse of it, or that's how they get rid of the guilt or whatever to make it happen. They need a reason to go to war, and they find it.
Yep. There are a few pieces in here that suggest conflict, of course, where they're from, near Turkey and involving Palestine, but this is very much a song for everybody questioning war in general, without having certain directives involving, their beliefs. It's very much can be taken at face value, very much questioning war as well, without needing those directives.
And just naming it war with a question mark, the fact it's like, why are we going to war? But also it's like, we don't speak anymore of war. They don't even call it war. They just it's like, nope, they are the heathens. We will fight them. It's not even a war. They take it to the point, war? What do you mean, war? It gets to that point with propaganda and no international, I'm looking at the lyrics, international security, blah, blah, blah. You make someone feel like they're insecure. You make someone feel like their way of life is being threatened or what have you. And
well, even in the bridge, we must call upon our bright darkness. Beliefs, they're the bullets of the wicked. It's very much bright darkness, like hiding within evil intentions. Hey, we need to have conflict here, creating conflict behind evil reasoning. A bright darkness, hiding this call to arms as a bright something mighty that we need to do, but using it in a positive way to hide this awful thing, a bright darkness. That's just very strong. And belief, they're the bullets of the wicked. Is it really, what's your real intention behind what's going on here?
And they don't even need bullets. They just need belief. They need people to believe what they say, which is better than bullets. And that which goes to pen is mightier than the sword, which is that same. But the very next line in the song, one was written on the sword. So it goes from beliefs to bullets to pen to sword. There's a lot of good imagery in there. That's good poetry. It's good writing. It's good to use old metaphors in like a new way. I think it's crappy writing if you use an old metaphor as a lyric, which the band like Green Day does that. There's other bands too where they'll just put a cliche phrase in, like, oh, pen is mightier than the sword, something like that. Not that phrase, but System of a Down is smart enough to take a phrase like that, to spin it around, take it to the next level, and write a new poetic phrase based on, it's what we already know, but spun into a new piece of art. That's good writing as well.
This track does actually have a music video. It's footage of the band kind of spliced in with different acts of war. It's not one of their more exciting music videos, quite frankly. There is imagery with this, but it's more to the point that they could have, I feel like, put together a better music video, quite frankly, more imagery. What's going on here?
This song is awesome. The riff is great. It is a lot of what System does all put together. The bridge is like a lot cleaner sounding. They pull back the layers, but then kind of build it back up again with really weird reverby guitars, strange vocals all over the map, different characters in different states of distress, all performed by Serge, the front man, the star of the show. He is, the victim of the war. He is the perpetrator of the war. He is every character in this war is Serge's voice. And the core, the "We Will Fight the Heathens," it's terrible, it's catchy, it's a political message explaining tongue-in-cheek or satirically or just showing you like this is how this works in a society, and that is an S tier song for me.
I gave it an A. It was in consideration for an S tier for me, but I did give this an A. I do have notes that they also switch it up a little bit on the live version as well.
Interesting.
Sometimes switching up the vocals or even lyrics a little bit instrumentally as well. So they do play with this one a little bit as well when they get on stage.
Very cool.
But yeah, for War for You, S tier on the top Desert Island track list.
Easy.
I will give it an A.
So we go from war, which is the tragedy of nations, the tragedy of whole groups of people and armies. The next track is a track called Mind. It's a very explicit child abuse song story. We're going to play it at the very end. It's a really long song. We're kind of going to just talk about it, do our reactions to it. If you want to listen to it at the end, we'll play it at the end. It's very heavy lyrics.
It's it could also be interpreted as the government as well, taking control of your ideas. So there's a couple, again, very open to interpretation, whether it's direct child abuse or abuse of the mind in a government control, or again, manipulation of another sense, as we've seen many ways with System of a Down.
It's the kind of track, it's a lot like Soil, where it's a few different riffs that in and of themselves are kind of repetitive or boring, but it goes from mood, to style, and kind of progresses through the different riffs, through the different songs. It gets to the part where it's basically silence, and then they play a sample, which I believe is the only sample on the record, the whole album. It's a woman's voice, I believe, going, "Free thinkers are dangerous," which is... it's a meme. It's like you hear that, you smile a little bit. You're like, what are they doing? What are they talking about? And then it just goes into crazy, some of the harshest, like death type screams on the whole album. But this is probably the heaviest track. When they start, not consistently through the whole song, but in the peaks of this song, is probably the nastiest, most metally, just kind of sludgy, make noise type of metal that they get into on the whole thing. And it just, that type of song, it's a lot like Soil. It's a lot like Soil, which we reviewed on the last episode, and that sample's kind of cool, and it's interesting. It's a progressive song. It ebbs and flows and goes forward instead of like around in a circle.
Yeah, we do have whispering, screaming, the death screams. We have a lot going on vocally. It seems a little science project-y to me after a while. How much can we build into this?
Good point.
In a 6-minute
runtime song, how much can we cram
going
into one concept? Yeah.
How much experimentation can we shove in this track?
So what is that worth to you? Is that a high-scoring experimentation, or is that the type of experimentation that keeps it on the bench?
My grade for Mind here is a C. It's not one of my top songs to listen to for 6 minutes.
I give Mind a B. I enjoyed it when I was able to come back to the System of a Down albums after hearing a handful of tracks off of music services in the early days of the internet there. And the way it shakes out for me, that's worth a B. It's a good experiment. It bangs. It's just a good solid album track like Soil. Better than average for an album track for System of a Down. All told, with all the different writing concepts they've tried, I think it's a successful experiment. I get the fact that it's kind of throw everything at the wall, and how many, especially when there's 1 minute like joke songs coming up.
Yeah, I just
spread it around a little bit.
You could have cut to 4 minutes. I'll stick with that. You could have cut to 4 minutes and kept some of the core pieces, but it's too long.
It's too long.
It's too long. You're not listening to the track we covered last episode for 1:30 and then flip into this one. And
Soil and Mind, and yeah, it's a lot.
So a C grade to me is sometimes skippable track, not always something you're looking forward to.
Fair deal. Let's wrap it up. We're playing Mind at the end for you. A very long one, putting it at the end. We enjoyed having you. We will enjoy having you again. Check us out. We'll play some more songs, have some more laughs, tell some more stories, create some more memories on the Polymus experience. Tell them something, Michael. Hit them.
Next episode, we'll be covering people.
Peephole
and Cubert. Oh, well, we'll be covering people, but we'll also be covering peephole.
Fun. Check it out. It's Mind on the Polymuse podcast. We love you. Bye.